A sanctuary, a family legacy, untouched by time, but when he returned after a year away, what he found left him speechless. 5 luxury cottages with pools, fences, and a sign reading Blue Pines Retreat. His peaceful haven had become ground zero for a battle over justice and ownership. Liam Harper leaned back in his car seat as the winding road sliced through a thick forest of soaring pines. The late afternoon sun filtered through the branches, creating dancing shadows on the hood of his truck. The air carried the scent of pine sap and moist soil, sharp difference from the artificial city atmosphere he'd escaped. This was his refuge, his birthright, a vast 30-acre woodland that had belonged to his family for generations. His father had shared stories of the land with deep respect, describing its untouched splendor and the serene existence it offered. It had been handed down from Liam's grandfather, who spent his last days caring for the estate. For Liam, this was more than mere acreage. It was a link to his heritage, a spot where he envisioned building a life free from urban chaos. The property featured a quaint but worn ranch-style home tucked beside a gurgling brook. The house was encircled by wide fields, patches of wildflowers, and a woodland that extended endlessly. A modest wooden bridge crossed the stream, connecting 2 paths his grandfather had etched out years earlier, though the home required fixes. Liam envisioned its revival and grew excited at the thought of revitalizing it. Over the last year, though, his intense tech career in Seattle had anchored him to the metropolis, making trips to the land rare. Now, with a flexible remote role granting him liberty, he chose to relocate here for good. It seemed the perfect time to fully adopt this tranquil haven and return it to its past splendor as he neared the house. The view of its aged facade evoked a blend of feelings. The cedar exterior, once vivid, had dulled, and the roof showed marks from endless weather cycles. Yet the building remained sturdy, a tribute to his grandfather's skill. Parked and stepped out, breathing in the fresh air that felt universes. Away from his old routine, the following weeks became a frenzy of tasks. Liam dove into renovations, patching the roof, refreshing the paint, and updating the outdated amenities in the cozy dwelling. Each day delivered fresh satisfaction as he started to feel genuinely rooted. The terrain also appeared to greet him warmly. The brook shimmered in the light. Birds chirped overhead and deer sometimes appeared in the distance. But the estate was expansive, and Liam had barely scratched its surface. In his 3rd week there, he chose to spend a day probing farther into the grounds beyond the field toward the far woods. He packed his ATV with gear, including a boundary map his father had once displayed. The paper was highlighted with bold orange lines delineating the scope of their territory. As the ATV engine revved, Liam sensed a thrill. This was his opportunity to bond again with a site integral to his family's history for ages. But what awaited past the tree line would soon transform his calm sanctuary into the arena of a fight for fairness and possession. Liam maneuvered the rough paths on his ATV, the chilly woodland breeze whipping by as he delved deeper into the forest. The vehicle's buzz merged with the organic chorus of swaying foliage and far-off avian songs. The trees grew thicker, the ground more uneven, and he experienced a rush of exploration. For decades, this section of the estate had remained pristine, a pocket of wildness solely his family's. He halted at a glade close to the eastern edge, consulting his map. The orange stakes his grandfather placed long ago were still evident, albeit weathered. These indicators had always distinctly marked where their domain concluded and the external realm started, but an oddity drew Liam's gaze: a timber post that seemed out of place. Intrigued, he advanced, and soon the forest opened to a view that twisted his gut. Right in the heart of his territory stood a contemporary two-level cottage, boasting a newly varnished porch and a tidy yard. A short barrier enclosed it, and a plaque by the entrance proclaimed Blue Pines Retreat. His pulse raced as he absorbed the scene. Who constructed this, and for what reason? His bewilderment intensified as he continued along the perimeter. To his shock, he uncovered not 1 but 5 cottages dotted throughout the zone. Each was enclosed neatly, with placards promoting them as elements of a leased getaway. The homes included swimming areas, terraces, and even pebbled lots for vehicles. Liam's domain, his kin's domain, had morphed into a thriving business venture as he grappled with the spectacle. He spotted activity by one cottage. A youthful pair relaxing poolside, chatting and reveling. Liam neared them warily, uncertain. How to proceed? Pardon me, he shouted, and they faced him. May I inquire what you're up to here? The gentleman grinned, presuming Liam was involved. Oh, we leased this spot for an extended weekend. It's fantastic, so secluded and calm. We discovered it on a holiday booking platform. Holiday booking platform? Liam echoed, his tone strained. Do you know the owner? The lady shrugged. We reserved via someone called Karen. She manages the bookings. Charming woman, very efficient. Liam's thoughts whirled. Corin, his adjacent resident. He'd encountered her casually a year prior when she greeted his return. Back then, she appeared amiable, praising his estate and voicing appreciation for its allure. But now, it seemed that appreciation had morphed into something far darker. He requested Karen's details, which the duo gladly supplied. Drawing a steadying breath to quell his mounting fury, Liam phoned the number. The call linked, and a lively voice responded. This is Karen. Which cottage piques your interest? Liam gripped his jaw, concealing his ire. I'd like to talk about the cottages. Could we meet in a few days? I want to inspect them closely before deciding. Karen consented eagerly, arranging a slot for their rendezvous. As Liam disconnected, his fingers shook not from dread but resolve. Over the ensuing 2 days, Liam geared up for the showdown, engaged a regional mapper to confirm his borders and record the cottages' positions. The outcomes were unequivocal. Each structure sat on his ground. Equipped with this, he submitted a complaint to local officials and retained a property lawyer to prepare a suit. Karen's deeds weren't merely a violation of rights. They were a flagrant bid to exploit what wasn't hers. The homes, enclosures, greenery, all unsanctioned. Worse, the lawyer projected that monetary losses encompassing demolition and land repair costs might surpass $1.5 million. As the meeting day neared, Liam braced for the conflict. He knew legality favored him, but Karen's boldness implied she'd resist fiercely. This transcended the cottages, concerned reclaiming his territory and safeguarding his kin's heritage. The meeting day dawned, and Liam journeyed to the cottages, his heart thumping with a mix of rage and expectancy. He didn't arrive solo. Accompanying him were a land assessor, a county deputy, and his counsel fortified with undeniable proof of the unlawful builds. Liam aimed to challenge Karen on her overt encroachment. The pebble path to the cottages had been newly leveled, evidence of Karen's commitment to this illicit project. As he drew near the group of homes, Liam noticed Karen's polished SUV stationed by the biggest one. She emerged with a poised, nearly arrogant look, clad in a fitted jacket that exuded command. Her demeanor wavered instantly upon spotting Liam with the authorities. Awareness crossed her features. A hint of disquiet supplanted her prior assurance. Liam had met Karen briefly a year ago on one of his sporadic trips. Then she'd been all graciousness, effusing about his land's charm and declaring profound esteem for its serenity. Now, her part in this mess was obvious, Liam. Karen exclaimed, mustering a radiant grin as she neared. What a shock. I didn't anticipate you'd bring guests. Figured it was just given what I've uncovered about your venture, Liam responded evenly. Karen's grin stiffened, and she squared her posture, striving to keep poise. I'm unclear on. Your meaning, all here is entirely valid. I've poured considerable effort and funds into turning this into a getaway folks can relish. Liam gestured to the deputy, who presented Karen with formal paperwork. Her face soured as she scanned the sheets, her mouth compressing line by line. This is an official directive, Liam clarified. You have 14 days to dismantle all edifices. For my estate, plus we've initiated a claim for reparations over $1.5 million. And with pointed stress, the officials are probing this setup for possible tax dodging and unlawful commerce. Karen's cheeks reddened deeply as she pivoted to the group, her pitch escalating. This is ridiculous. I hold full entitlement too. This terrain, my spouse and I, acquired it legitimately. I possess papers to verify it, and you won't object to displaying them, Liam's counsel interposed sharply. Karen delved into her purse, extracting documents and shoving them at the lawyer. As he scrutinized them, his scowl intensified. "These files are dubious," he stated shortly. "They allege Liam's dad conveyed this land segment to you pre-death. Oddly, no such deal exists in county logs." Karen's tone sharpened. "It's not my issue if files got lost. This ground is mine now, and I've committed no wrong." Liam advanced, his voice steady yet resolute. "Karen, you've always known this wasn't yours. The boundary posts were present, the archives unambiguous, yet you erected 5 homes, promoted them, and leased them as your own. This isn't a mix-up, it's pilfering." As Karen's poise frayed more. "You fail to grasp my investment here. Do you realize the revenue these bring? The reserves solid for summer?" "That's irrelevant to me," Liam retorted. "Your actions are criminal, and you'll confront the repercussions." The deputy interceded, his voice firm. "Ma'am, comply with this. Order non-compliance invites added legal steps, including possible felonies." Karen's assured mask dissolved completely as she grasped the gravity. Her eyes flitted from the papers to Liam's steadfast gaze. With a spiteful scowl, she hissed, "This isn't finished. I'll meet you in court." Liam merely inclined his head. "That's precisely the direction." As Karen stormed to her SUV, Liam sensed vindication. This was distant from resolved, but the initial skirmish was waged, and he held the advantage. Liam had foreseen Karen's reluctance to yield readily, but he hadn't predicted her extremes. Days post-confrontation, his lawyer alerted him, Karen had lodged a countersuit. In it, she charged Liam with slander, torment, and trying to seize her validly obtained estate. More startling, the judiciary accepted Karen's questionable files. Pausing cottage removal pending ownership resolution. It's a stalling ploy, his attorney Emily noted in a midnight planning meet. She knows those papers won't endure examination. But this filing gains her time and stresses you. The subsequent days validated Emily. Karen ramped up her intimidation bids. Indirectly, hostile notes appeared in his post, and he observed Karen's SUV lingering roadside near his entry repeatedly. Then one night, she appeared at his threshold with her counsel. Liam met them guardedly, his phone's recorder app subtly active in his pocket. Khan began affably, proposing what she termed a fair fix. "We needn't extend this to a drawn-out court fight," she said with a strained grin. "Here's my offer. I'll give $200,000 now, and you permit the cottages to remain. We'll receive monthly earnings shares, too." "Win-win," her lawyer concurred. "Benefits all." The files we supplied confirm Karen's rightful stake in this land portion. Court combat will be expensive and lengthy, with no assured superior result. Liam arched a brow, his voice composed but unyielding. "The sole files I acknowledge showed this land as my family's 4 eras. I'm uninterested in bargaining with a property encroacher." Karen's grin faltered, ire flickering. "Fine, $500,000. That's overly kind, given your land languished unused till I added worth." Liam held firm. "This isn't monetary, it's about honoring boundaries. My response is no." Karen's lawyer leaned closer, his tone veering to subtle menace. "Reconsider, refusing. Extended litigation could turn nasty, and who knows what occurs amid court delays." Liam's jaw clenched. "Is that menacing?" The lawyer retreated, forcing laughter. "Naturally not just consideration." Liam opened the door wider. "Now depart." The air crackled with strain as they left, but Liam knew this was merely her desperation's onset. 2 days on, Liam came home to mayhem. House windows broken, entry door askew. Inside, furnishings toppled, some items ruined but no valuables stolen. Not theft. Bullying. Liam promptly contacted law enforcement, sharing video from a hidden tree camera. The footage depicted a vehicle arriving nocturnally, 2 masked individuals exiting to wreck. The plate was visible, offering a strong clue. Hours later, officials pinpointed and nabbed a culprit. During interrogation, the suspect confessed being paid for the harm. The payer, Karen, per her lawyer's guidance. This disclosure amplified the brewing legal assault. Karen's bullying bid boomeranged dramatically. Now, atop the civil action, she faced felonies for vandalism, harassment, and coercion attempts. As Liam examined revised legal docs with Emily, she displayed somber contentment. She's done. Between fake files, illegal builds, and this, no escape without grave fallout. For the first time in weeks, Liam experienced relief. The struggle persisted, but momentum shifted firmly his way. The repercussions of Karen's deeds were rapid and extensive. Her bullying effort not only fortified Liam's position, but unveiled her flagrant legal scorn. As hearings advanced, Karen's stance eroded under evidentiary burden. The initial strike. The judge assessed Karen's transfer papers. Expert review exposed them as counterfeits, rushed to bolster her assertion. Her complicit lawyer was stripped of license and charged criminally. Karen was indicted for deceit and evidence meddling, compounding her woes. The judiciary mandated instant cessation of all business on the site. The cottages, formerly teeming with visitors, stood vacant, their bright facades a harsh echo of Karen's excess. With felonies accumulating and suit costs straining, Khan's bold attitude evaporated. Liam, conversely, glimpsed equity's dawn. The court favored him, deeming Khan's builds unlawful and commanding her to demolish at her cost. She must also mend the scarred earth, replanting flora and fixing soil. Reparations for harms, fees, and penalties summed over $2 million, a devastating hit for Karen. But penalties extended further. Karen's local standing was ruined irrevocably. As case news circulated, once admiring neighbors voiced their complaints. Tales of her scheming and privilege depicted someone long dependent on threats for gains. Liam, in contrast, earned esteem and backing from locals. Many extended solidarity, aiding estate mending. Volunteers assisted in debris removal and land prep for regrowth. One even gifted saplings from their plot to supplant lost ones. Restoring wasn't swift, but fulfilling. Liam labored diligently with helpers, gradually reviving the estate's past shine. New trees rooting and wildlife returning instilled deep fulfillment. Beyond physical fixes, Liam discovered renewed drive. The trial had challenged his grit, compelling steadfastness against hardship. Though arduous, he'd surfaced tougher, more committed to defend his own. Karen's destiny cautioned others. Finances. Wrecked repute demolished. She sold her residence at steep deficit to pay rulings. Whispers said she'd relocated afar to kin, distant from her former domain. For Liam, the saga's close exceeded personal triumph. It underscored accountability in defending justice. One twilight on his veranda, viewing sunset over restored terrain, he sensed profound calm. The woodland, hushed and enduring, mirrored recent teachings. Equity, though tardy, triumphs when one battles for it. Liam positioned at his estate's brink, dawn fog swirling round fresh trees. The ground, once blemished by illicit builds and bold invasion, reclaimed its former guise. Lush verdure and soft leaf whispers signaled triumphant serenity, a win not solely over Karen, but all she'd sought to pilfer. The judicial war had been exhausting, spanning months, and probing Liam's endurance and will. Yet ultimately, truth and law prevailed. The cottages were razed, erasing the unsanctioned haven. Land wounds healed incrementally, thanks to neighbors and volunteers' aid. As Liam pondered the path, he marveled at his self-growth. What began as property clash burgeoned into broader strife for heritage, honor, and reckoning. Remained resolute amid deceit and threats, declining to yield what's his. Karen's collapse warned the area of hubris and privilege's tolls. Her frantic grip on success illusion cost everything: wealth, status, abode. With her lawyer ousted and charges looming, Karen fled, bequeathing disgrace. For Liam, the trial yielded unforeseen boons. Formerly, aloof neighbors united, forging ties transcending borders. They embodied true fellowship, showing unity amid strife. Liam also bonded deeper to kin legacy. Grandfather's land tales brimmed with pride and duty. Now Liam grasped why. Surpassed mere plaudit formed his essence, echoing family virtues. Tenacity, regard. Guarding essentials, strolling to his home, Liam lingered by the rippling brook, sun glinting on waves. He felt finale and feet beyond land revival. He'd not just recaptured his domain, but rediscovered his core: fortitude, determination, nature tie. His case's precedent drew wider notice. Tales of his stand inspired anti-overreach action. Liam spoke at town gatherings, recounting his tale, urging vigilance on rights. Now, as seasons shifted and planted trees flourished, Liam eyed tomorrow hopefully. He aimed to remain, tending the land, honoring inheritance. The forest once conflict, Hub symbolized endurance, its grace and vigor reflected in its guardian. On serene eves, Liam perched on veranda, air alive with leaf stirs and insect songs. The land was his anew, and daily it affirmed a basic, yet deep verity, standing for right. Even fiercest fights yield, and ensuing peace merits all strife.